Today I'm talking about what Indian people absolutely need to know about terrible body odor, BO, before they move to Canada or a Western country, or if they're living here and they have this problem, they want to know what do people, like local people, actually think. Now, to be honest, this is not going to be a mean spirited video. I'm going to share some research that I've done. I'm going to share some stories, some fun stories. It's meant to be helpful to the community so everybody can get along, so to speak. So hear me out, watch the whole video. If you agree, disagree, whatever, share it around. And I think you'll really find this interesting and fun. Now, I've lived in different countries myself, so I know what it's like to go somewhere else in a totally new culture, have people like certain things, not like certain things, and some things are awkward to say. So it's better just to know, be honest about it, and have fun with it. So let's watch this quick short video from an Indian here. Now, I think this is funny. I'm not making fun of her, but let's just see what she says, and then we'll watch another one. And I've got a whole bunch of research. This is going to be a fun one.
I don't like Indian people. They stink of curry. I hope you're not Indian. Yes, we smell of the same curry that makes your butter chicken, chicken tikka masala, your tandoori chicken, and even the spices in your chai tea latte. It's funny how my culture's scent bothers you, but the flavors don't. And I understand if our spices are too much for you. Then just enjoy your spices, salt, pepper, ketchup, and mayo. I mean, if it really smells so bad, why don't you stick to your bland food?
All right, so she's having fun there. She's being funny, but let's like dive into this. Now, she makes a joke about Western food. Now, I agree with it. That is funny. I mean, like a lot of people like have salt, pepper, like she says, mayo. I mean, it can be pretty pathetic. When I lived in Asia, like, I mean, there's more variety, more history, and I'll give her the point on the food. Where I'm going to disagree, though, and it's a big disagreement, is she said, we smell like the food that you like, so Westerners are kind of hypocritical. Well, no. Okay. So, like, if somebody ate, a bunch of oranges that smelled really good, and, everybody thinks oranges smell good, and then they farted and said, like, why is that bothering you? I just ate oranges. So that smells the same as an orange. Like, no, it doesn't. And if you think that's the same smell, then honestly, there's something wrong or different about your nose because that is not the same smell. Westerner, like go to an Indian restaurant anywhere. Westerners love Indian food. I love it. I don't mind the smell of the food. And I don't think it's the people are smelling like food. It's the BO, usually the guys, some of them. And it's really harming. Like I'm gonna get into a few personal anecdotes here, but it's harming the whole culture. So like talking about this openly when you can't see my face and I don't have to say it, like, embarrass anybody privately. This is just a good thing to think about. Now, I want to watch this next video of a girl from India who does recognize the problem. Then I'm going to go into some research and some tips. And then I'll get into my funny story. So let's watch this here. Okay.
I request you to watch this video with patience and without getting all defensive. Let's be honest. One of the reasons we sometimes face hate or unpleasant comments like being called curry or worse is because, yes, some of us smell bad. Of course, it's not only Indians that smell bad. I'm not saying that we deserve the hate. Nobody deserves.
That's true. It's not only Indians that smell bad. There's people from other cultures as well. But, there's a lot here. So we're just zeroing in, but fair point so far.
Deserve the hate. But instead of getting all defensive, we need to address the facts. We need to address it logically. Hi everyone, I am Premia. I make videos to help immigrants. Welcome to my channel. So today's topic, do Indians smell? And the answer is yes, sometimes we do. Can we change it and solve it? Absolutely yes, we can. Without wasting any time, let's dive into it deeper. Why do we smell? There are three major reasons for it. First is a political reason. It's a big topic and it deserves a video of its own. I will not talk about it in this video. Second, the smell of masala or curry. Our food smells delicious masala, but so do we. The damn scent can stick to us. The third, body odor. Just like everybody else, due to lack of hygiene or medical reasons or other reasons. Let's break these down and most importantly understand how to solve those. Why do we smell masala? Seems pretty self explanatory, right? But let's look into it together. This happens even if you don't cook yourself. If Indian meals are being prepared in your home, the smell can stick around unless you take some countermeasures. So you might wonder, we didn't smell like masala in India, so why does it happen abroad? The answer is pretty simple. In India, our homes are usually well ventilated. The cooking smell escapes very easily. But homes abroad, usually in the winter months, are sealed to keep the warmth in.
I mean, she's great. I like this video. This is helpful. She's trying to help immigrants, but again, it's the smell of food, which I've heard before, like, and maybe there's some truth to that. There probably is, in the West, like the homes are less ventilated. They don't cook that stuff, so it sticks to the skin. But that is not like the horrible BO problem that we're talking about. So quickly, I'll just share two stories, and then I'm going to share some funny ones. You could call them embarrassing when I lived abroad, but two here that really almost made me think I need to make this video. A couple weeks ago, I went to play tennis with my son in an indoor bubble. It's kind of like they put they make an indoor court out of outdoor courts. They put up some material so it's like it's contained. It's pretty big inside, and there are four courts there. Two of them are for pickleball, two for tennis, and there were a bunch of people playing pickleball. I know one group was from India, and honestly, when I went in there, and it was just from one guy really, because everybody knew who it was. The smell of the body odor, like this was not food. This was so bad and so strong, and nobody wanted to. Like people are nice here; they're not going to say anything to the person. But I could tell people really didn't like it. My son, who's a little kid, like he had to play on the other side of the court. We were in a we were two courts down, and it was so strong and so ridiculous, but somebody's obviously not saying, because like this is unbelievable. This was like really, like we almost had to go home for it. And then I've been playing recently and I saw the same person there, but it wasn't, I didn't really smell anything this time. So what I think happened, and this is a good thing, somebody, hopefully in their own culture, and it wasn't like a violent, mean thing, went up to him and said, like, you know what, man? And this is what we do to each other if we smell bad. They say, like, you know what, man, I hate to break it to you, but you really need to like get a clean shirt, not polyester, spend way more time in the shower with soap and like just deal with this because it can be so strong that it's like really wrecking the room. Like this is unbelievable. And it can be just from one person. And the same thing happened in the gym. Like I'm going to a nice, large, well ventilated, big gym with high ceilings. And it was one or two guys that made me not want to go to a certain area of the gym. And I could see other people just sort of holding their nose, putting it in their shirt, like not wanting to use the same machines. And if we all want to get along culturally, that's a big one. And I just, you have to come out and say it as it is. Now, again, like I'm not just dumping on a different culture and a different thing. I'll tell you a couple stories that happened to me in Asia. So, like in certain parts of East Asia, China, Korea, Japan, if you like, especially from like a big city, and especially I would say in Korea and Japan, where they're known for being like really on that clean side, if you sit on a bed with your outdoor clothes on. And I mean, like you went to the gym in clean clothes and then you came back and like it wasn't really sweaty and you just like sit there. Or even if you just went out in the car and you're like in brand new clothes and you went out in the car and came back in, you just went to the store quickly and then you sit on the bed in those clothes, like, if you're dating someone, they will get pretty upset. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? That's unbelievable. You're taking those dirty clothes and you're coming in here, you didn't even change, and you're sitting on the bed, like just sitting on it. So they freak out about that. I didn't think it was a big deal. I still don't. But to be honest, if I'm over there now, I would not make that mistake. Same with shoes off. Like, I mean, I think most people now in the West take their shoes off. They're not walking all over the house with their outdoor shoes like they used to. But like, they'll freak out if you take one step into the house with shoes. Like, it's the worst thing you could ever do. And I just, learned it, deal with it. That's how it is. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, I get it. The houses are cleaner and That's just how it is. But they make a bigger deal about it than I would. Um, and that's just like a cultural thing. Now, quickly check this out too. Now, this is an interesting little article piece here. Um, Social media is heating up over why Asians, this is like East Asians, don't have body odor. Now, when I lived there, I remember like in 2005 or six, in large cities with like 20 million people, this is in China, it was almost impossible to find deodorant because they don't wear it because they have some gene that doesn't really make like a body odor smell. So it says between 80 and 95%. And Koreans have the highest of this. It's like 100%. Like they don't need to wear it and they care a lot about smells. So there is like a genetic component to this and it's a very strong thing. And they're saying, their culture, they're wondering why, but it goes on to say like their culture cares about smell and cleanliness so much that they could have evolved for like someone selecting a mate that's not smelling bad. And it's this ABCC11 gene there. And then there's two, like there's like a mutated one and another one. If you have the one, uh, from there, you don't have a smell, the other one does, but I know you can get rid of it. You just gotta use soap, antibacterial, wear deodorant, don't wear polyester clothes, and like change way more often and make a big deal about it because this one thing, honestly, drives people crazy. I don't know if our noses are different, we're not used to it, but like no one's gonna get used to that. So even if you don't think it's a big deal, or you don't smell that bad, or you don't think you smell that bad, or other people aren't making a big deal about it to your face, I don't like seeing this mean stuff online. Like, you're so disgusting, go back to India. I don't like that. I think that's mean spirited. Especially people that came legally, they're helping out, they're working. That's the good side of immigration if everything's going well. And I talk a lot on this channel about the bad side, so it's not a free for all. But I'm talking about people who are, following the rules, contributing, doing the right thing. But man, this like smell thing is a big deal. So I think it's up to the women too. Like you got to really, like, even if they're cranky, you got to tell your husbands and boyfriends, whatever, like, come on, this is really not helping out. And have fun with it. Just say, you know what, I guess that was a thing like I had to do with wearing my clothes on the beds in Asia or wearing my shoes in the house. I had to be like, okay, fair enough. You know what? I get it. I'm not going to do that anymore. So hopefully you enjoyed this and you like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. I've had some great comments on the other videos. Check out the other videos. And yeah, I think you'll really, I think this will be hopefully helpful, hopefully fun. So hopefully you share it on social media, talk about it amongst yourselves and the whole thing, and we'll see you in the next video.